my wife and I were trying to watch Live with the Olympics last night. And what was really funny, what we were remarking is because we watch on Amazon Fire TV, right? And we have Hulu, but we don't have Peacock. And there's this reluctance for a lot of people to get the network streaming services, which I think is another sign that, again, like it's becoming, they had this like hold on, I guess, the way we could watch stuff, and now that hold is slipping so significantly, so dramatically, ever so much. It's becoming a lot harder for them to kind of regain that control. And they're you know, to their credit, they're doing some smart things. At least Paramount with me, Paramount Plus with the Halo series. I'm gonna be
sure.
plugged in for that, but I've committed to just unsubscribing after that the first season's done.
That's funny. No, and you're absolutely right. I think there's an irony to it myself, because like, I agree with you. You're totally right. But I trust NBC and CBS, and to an extent, well, Fox doesn't exist anymore, but the shell of what Fox was, you know, more than I trust Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, like which is, you know, which is fine. I mean, that's but I mean, you're absolutely right. You know, I'm not paying $5.99 for Peacock. You know,
no,
I used to get it free when I worked for WWE. That was great. But
I legit know only like one person who has Peacock. I actually did like an Instagram survey with friends, and I said, which of you owns who owns Peacock? And it was like north of 90% of them said, no, I do not have Peacock. And at least 100 people like had responded to the little survey I did, and it was just yeah.
But I'll say this though, when I ran a poll, which I've run a couple times, is if you needed to cancel one streaming service, what would it be? The overwhelming response is Netflix.
Well, no,
like,
I'm not.
Hulu does its thing. No, yeah. I
know, but to your point though, I'm sure you've been keeping up with what's going on recently. But now they're all removing the Marvel stuff on Netflix. Like Daredevil is leaving. So is Agents of
because
Shield.
They're not going to renew the contract because it's going to go to Disney probably.
Well, I don't think Disney. Well, maybe Agents of Shield, but I think what they're saying with all the Daredevil, Jessica Jones, all the Defender stuff, I think that's going to Hulu. But that, to me, that makes sense because Disney is, I guess, a large shareholder of Hulu, so that's why it's going. And they tend to show like more adult stuff on Hulu than they do on Disney Plus.
Well, but ironically, Disney wasn't a shareholder of Hulu. Fox was. And when Disney bought Fox, they got a larger share of Hulu through Fox. But yeah, no, and that's absolutely, I mean, Disney Plus, I don't know if you know Disney Plus in other countries. I guess you probably do because Alita probably has it in other countries. But Disney Plus has like Aliens in other countries. If you go to like England, all the Fox catalog is on Disney Plus because they don't have Hulu internationally. Hulu is a national streaming service for the most.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the Disney brand is not as synonymous with children's entertainment as it is in America. So they're just like, yeah, throw Sigourney Weaver, you know, like whatever, killing androids and aliens on the platform. But yeah, no, that's interesting. So it's going to Hulu. Okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, just because, again, like what you're saying about Netflix, that's the reason why I bring that up, because I could definitely see Netflix could potentially lose its luster over time. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's still, people still watch a lot of good shows. Like Squid Games is really popular, obviously. I never watched that, unfortunately. I didn't get a chance to catch that. But yeah, that it's still pumping out some pretty decent content from what I've seen. But then again, the movies I see on there, I'm like, I don't know if I would watch that. You know, if it was on,
The one thing that they make that's very good consistently is every international television show. Everything else tends to be a little, I don't want to say basement-y, but it's just never great because Netflix isn't their first pitch, right? If you have a TV show, you really want it to get on a network show or on a premium cable show or whatever, and then Netflix is your second place, or you know what I mean? I mean, you'll probably pitch them at the same time, but like it feels like you didn't exactly win, especially because it can disappear into the Netflix void of content, whatever. And the same things with film. Who still, even though it's dying, who doesn't want their film to like play Sundance and and like
Of
do this
course.
thing or like
Of course.
get this
Yeah.
theatrical big release? It's still that. And so Netflix is like, well, okay, cool, we got to Netflix, that's great. It still feels great. My friends have Netflix movies, they're wonderful. I'm not, but like, I'm just saying that's not your first pitch. However, if you're an international filmmaker or specifically international television maker, then Netflix is your number one. Because it's guaranteed worldwide distribution that everyone can see your show, right? Like Squid Game, there is no reason that a Korean language gore-filled, like just campy sci-fi allegory we should be watching that in droves of 100 millions of people, but you can. And so like every Netflix international show, you talk about Babylon Berlin, Guru Haji, what are some other ones that I just finished? But like, Lupin. Everybody loves Lupin too, right? Like the French show. Like they're incredible because you get the best crews, the best screenwriters, the best directors, the best actors that the country has to offer because they're so pumped.
Right.
And so like
they're into it, yeah.
And it probably pays the best, right? Like I think Babylon Berlin or Dark, one of them was the most expensive German TV show ever made. And It's like, it's not because it's necessarily the best idea, but it's because they're getting that Netflix money. And so if you're a TV maker in Germany, you want that Netflix money and you want that Netflix audience, because your dumb old show on whatever Rai Due, sorry, that's actually an Italian television channel. I don't know of what the German channels are called, like it doesn't work. I'm sorry. I'm going on a very,
you're good. No, this is interesting.
But okay, good. If it's not interesting, tell me it's boring. But like, to me, that's what Netflix, they lost The Office or whatever, but the Netflix original movies and TV shows don't tend to be great. They tend to be pretty good. They cap out at B+. You know what I mean? Like it's very rare to watch an A Netflix thing unless it's an international. Which, all that to say, if you haven't watched Babylon Berlin or Guru Haji or Lupin, do it. They're all great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's personally, it's been rough trying to keep up with a lot of shows, just because I get 2 kids now, and my days are stacked, as you can probably imagine. But even with
I'm
like
sorry.
no, you're good. You're good.